Did Xbox really make a pair of boots worth $225? Will House of the Dragon be as good as Game of Thrones? And what happened at the Oscars? Well, I talk about all that and more on this episode of the Toddcast. Hello everyone and welcome to the Toddcast. As always, I'm your host, Todd McManus. It has been a while, I will tell you that. I have been busy this past week, doing different stuff, and the last episode, of course, was pre-recorded a week before, so I didn't record anything last week. Basically had the week off of recording or anything, and now we're in April. April has come, and it is starting to fly by for some reason. I don't know why. This year just feels like it's already moving pretty quickly. It does not feel like it should be April already, but we're moving on with everything and everything that goes as it normally does. You know what I'm saying? So first off, I have to mention, because of course it's the biggest thing this entire week, really, still talking about it. Of course, I'm talking about the whole fiasco that happened at the Oscars, yes. Of course, you know, all of you who know me, really, I'm big into movies and all that kind of stuff, and I like paying attention to the Oscars sometimes just to see if there's any movies that are nominated that I've seen and be like, oh, yeah, that definitely should win an award, or this guy's performance in this should win an award, and this woman who acted really good in this movie, she should win an award, like that kind of stuff, or the music was really good, or the cinematography and all that kind of stuff. So I was paying attention to some of it while watching it, and I missed some bits and pieces there, and the main part I missed was what everybody was talking about. And of course, what I'm talking about is, of course, the whole fiasco that happened with Will Smith and Chris Rock. Now, I really like both of these guys. Will Smith, stellar actor, and he actually did win lead actor Oscar award for King Richard, so congrats to him for that award. And of course, Chris Rock, being one of the greatest comedians, I guess you could honestly say without a doubt he's one of the best comedians that have ever been, ever in the history of us, in the history of any kind of comedy, you know. But I mean, I'm not going to pick a side. Now, of course, a lot of people, a lot of celebrities and different people have said in the past week that Will Smith is correct or Chris Rock is correct. Like, whose side are you on, for Will Smith or Chris Rock, you know? Of course, if you're not familiar with what happened, what actually happened, Chris Rock made a joke to Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith's wife. And I got to be careful what I say about Jada, because if I say too much, Will Smith might come in my room right now and slap me across the face. So, Chris Rock made a joke, and of course, apparently, Jada, I did not know this about her, that apparently she has alopecia, and that apparently affects the way you grow the hair on the top of your head. And he made a joke pertaining to that, saying that she was going to be in the next G.I. Jane movie. And, I mean, it was a funny joke. Will Smith was laughing at the joke. Jada did not think it was funny. He thought it was funny, and it showed him on the cameras that it was funny. And then next thing you know, I guess he looked over and saw that she wasn't laughing. So he walked over there and just slapped Chris Rock right on the stage, and then just started cussing, or cursing, however you say it, just started cussing on live television. So they had to bleep it out because he was saying the F word, and you can't say that on live TV, you know. Because there's only a few cuss words you can actually say on live TV, and the F word is not one of them, because it is like up there, you know, with words that, like, that's the word you start saying when you make a movie from PG-13 to turn it into an R-rated movie. You just start saying the F word more, you know. But he did that, and then it just went on normal, I guess, with that whole thing, while Chris Rock was trying to present an award for Best Documentary. That Questlove ended up winning that award. And I don't know, like, it's a very weird, I mean, and then they talk about, like, somebody asked Will Smith to leave, and then somebody else was saying that they asked him to leave. He refused to leave, but somebody else stepped in and said, no, don't make him leave or whatever. I don't really understand. I don't know the full story of all that. I understand that Chris Rock shouldn't have made that kind of joke because she does have a condition. So that's kind of the stuff you want to like say, get the okay from that person, you know? But then again, I don't think Will Smith should have just slapped him across the face like that and started swearing at him. But I don't know. It's just a whole ordeal, and none of it really makes any sense. And honestly, I don't think the Oscars should just do anything, because when was the last time that people have talked about the Oscars more prevalent than they are right now? Before this, everybody, even me on a certain stances, would say that award shows are useless and boring. That award shows, are used to commend the work of people, depending on what the award show is about, whether it's movies, TV shows, games, anything. But most people will say, well, award shows are just useless. Like, they're terrible, they're boring, they're old, that we don't need them anymore. Just say, hey, you get an award, all right, go away, and that's it, But when has someone talked about the Oscars? When has the world covered more news about the Oscars than they are right now? If Will Smith and Chris Rock, if that didn't happen at the Oscars, I would have forgotten the Oscars happened this week. That's the only reason I remember the Oscars. Because when something like that happens, or whenever Ricky Gervais gave that whole speech on celebrities and all them and stuff about Hollywood and everything at the Golden Globes a couple of years ago. That's the only reason I remember that, because he was just roasting all of Hollywood. So it's like, I understand that kind of situation doesn't need to happen again, but as the Oscars and for the TV people and all that, this is drama. This is what they want. It's reality television. That's what they want. They want the spicy interactions for people to tune in, to give them more of a reason to tune in and say, hey, you never know what's going to happen. Am I going to watch the Oscars next year? Most likely, just to see if it happens. I probably forget. I did not know the Oscars were on that night until I was flipping through channels and found it. And I was like, whoa, the Oscars are on. And so that's when I watched some of it. And yeah, it's a whole ordeal. And I mean, I think they're on good terms right now, but whatever happens, and we'll learn more in the coming weeks, of course, surrounding that whole topic. But also, speaking about actors, I want to talk a minute about Bruce Willis. Of course, we all know one of the greatest actors of all time, Bruce Willis, of course, being with the Die Hard movies and so many other movies. It has officially been announced that Bruce Willis is going to officially retire from acting. His health has been declining for many years now, and they said he is starting to lose, what was it like? He's losing the ability to speak and like certain movements he's losing. So it's like, and like apparently like he's losing the ability to understand language, which means I don't know what that means. Something in his brain, I guess, that he's not able to comprehend people speaking, I guess. But he's got something called like aphasia or something like that is the actual like medical condition. Which is sad because Bruce Willis is an all-time legend and already made, great movies and easily one of the best of all time, of course. So, more power to Bruce Willis. I know that he can probably overcome this, whatever this type of condition is, and what requirements he needs to get to fix with this condition, but more power to him. Thoughts and prayers to him and his family during this tough time, but his health is going down, but he's still one of the greats. So Bruce Willis will always be acknowledged as one of the best actors of all time, without a doubt. So more into some entertainment news, going into the gaming industry real quick with the gaming icon known as Xbox. Xbox has apparently made a pair of boots. Now, these boots are drawn from the idea of Halo, of course. Let's see here. Xbox, the developer for Halo, which is 343 Industries, and they have teamed up with the shoemaker Wolverine, who usually makes boots and work boots and that kind of stuff. They have revealed Master Chief inspired boots, and each pair of boots will be $225, and only 117 pairs will be manufactured. Now, if you don't understand that, because 117 was the number given to Master Chief in the Halo series. That's a bit of the story, bit of the lore for you. So 117 pairs, each pair is $225. That is kind of pricey, but there's literally only barely over 100 pairs available in the world, and they're Master Chief inspired boots. So within, the next 5 to 10 years, these will definitely be worth thousands of dollars. Because this is definitely a collectible item. Not only can you wear it, but there's only a few in the whole world. So it will be interesting to see. They'll definitely sell out very quickly. And then they'll be marked up. Probably some, not scalpers, but there's only 117 pairs. So they'll definitely be marked up by some people, like, hey, I'm selling these pair of boots for like $1,000 or whatever. And just like kind of like the Xbox mini fridge and with the PS5 and the Xbox and all that kind of stuff, where like the mini fridge, there wasn't many that was sold, but it was marked up by the ones that actually were able to get it from Target whenever it was on sale. And then the way the PS5 was, everybody remembers that whole ordeal when they were bought for like $300-$400, and then they were being sold for like $1,200 on eBay, which is outrageous. But I did get mine, so I was able to procure one through Sony, through the PlayStation people. But am I going to buy a pair of these boots? No, I'm not buying $225 Halo boots. It'd be cool. They look cool. I do like the way they look. But I am not going to buy a pair of these boots. I'm just not going to do it. But yeah, if they made like a bunch more of them, I would consider it. But I'm not going out of my way to buy $225 boots, and I don't even wear boots. I don't wear boots like often. I wear tennis shoes and Crocs. Like that's it. If they make some Halo Crocs, I might wear them, but boots, nah, I'm not. And for $225 too, like how many times can I go to Sonic versus one pair of boots? Okay, that's your argument right there. So it's a no from me, but they look cool, and I know definitely they'll be sold out real quickly, and I would like to see like how they are like worn, like are they going to get worn out quickly? Are they made good? I know. Excuse me. I know that Wolverine is like a main boot manufacturer, shoe company, But I think they'll be pretty good. So if you're interested and you really want to get, if you're a diehard Halo fan, there's only 117 pairs, $225 a pop. Go out there and get you a pair of Halo boots. So going over to HBO Max real quick, of course, The Batman, made by Warner Brothers, of course. The Batman will be premiering on HBO Max soon. What is the actual day? It's still in theaters. I have watched it twice at this point. I think it's April 13th. April 19th. The Batman will be premiering on Tuesday, April 19th. That is about like 2.5 weeks from now. So about 2 weeks, on Tuesday, April 19th is when The Batman will be premiering on HBO Max. And yeah, that's I'm excited for that. I've already watched it twice in theaters. I saw it the first time with John, and then I saw it with Jaron about a week ago. And it was still really good. There are a lot of movies that you can watch twice and it's better the second time. That's the way The Batman was, because it was like I already knew what was going to happen, but the little things are the things that I missed. So it's really good. You should definitely watch it. I've already given my review of the Batman, but it is a really good movie. So still sticking with on the HBO Max side of things, Game of Thrones, of course, the highly known HBO series. That was really good. I mean, I watched all of Game of Thrones. So House of the Dragon, which is a spinoff of Game of Thrones that takes place years in the past, takes place way before the actual events of Game of Thrones. It is called House of the Dragon. It will be premiering on HBO The Channel, on TV channel HBO, not HBO Max. It will be premiering on HBO on August 21st. They finally gave us a release date for the series, and it is officially, that first episode will be premiering on August 21st and probably released weekly. Will be released weekly. I think it's going to be, I can look it up actually, August 21st is a Sunday. It'll go back to what Game of Thrones used to be, where it'll be one episode released every Sunday night. So probably like 7 or 8 at night, which is how Game of Thrones was. It was like an hour-long show every week on Sundays. So it's going to be interesting going back to that like form, because like back in the day when I was a kid, you had Game of Thrones every Sunday. You had Breaking Bad that was weekly on AMC. You had The Walking Dead that was also on AMC, but that was every Sunday. I don't know if Breaking Bad was or not, because I didn't watch Breaking Bad until after it was over, when it was on Netflix. It's still on Netflix, I'm pretty sure. But The Walking Dead, excuse me, I keep yawning. I need to take a nap after this. But The Walking Dead actually is coming to an end. I can actually say that after 11 seasons and 12 years of The Walking Dead, it is officially coming to an end. That The Walking Dead will officially be ending its run, and it will be no more after 12 long years and 11 seasons. 12 years. Like, that's hard to realize that this show has been on for 12 years, for 11 seasons. That The Walking Dead Season 1 came out when I was 10 years old. I am 22 years old right now. Like, to think that 12 years. And they said it was like 177 total episodes, I think. And most of them were on Netflix, I'm pretty sure. But it was a good show. I haven't watched some of the newer seasons, but I do remember watching like the first season and knowing that originally it was supposed to end on the first season and that was going to be it. And then like season 2 happened, and then who was the first one? Then they got to the farm and that happened. And then they went to the prison, and that's when the governor was the villain of the show, and he was a good one. Like, I really liked the governor, and he was there. And then of course after that was Terminus, which was the cannibals that they had to fight against the people who eat people. And then after that was when everybody mainly started tuning into The Walking Dead. I think when it was at its highest was whenever Negan was the villain of the show, which he is still part of it, I'm pretty sure. I haven't tuned in. I don't think he's dead. I think he's part of the good guys now. But to see, like, have him, and he bashed in the head of 2 different characters, and he was such a good bad guy. Like, he was so good in that role. But that show was so good. Of course, Rick and Carl and everybody else that was part of it. It was so good, and can't wait to see what's next. I'm pretty sure they're going to make like movies based off of what happened to Rick or something in that show. But Walking Dead is an all-timer show, and it's so good. And yeah, it was really good. I need to watch like all of it. But yeah, So, Walking Dead, you've been there for some of my life, pretty much. Like, Walking Dead has been around for over half my life, and that's something that's weird to think about. Like, I'm 22, the show started when I was 10, and I didn't watch when season 1 was officially out. I want to say I started watching season 3 or 4, because the governor was the villain, and they lived in the prison when I started watching. So I had to have been like 13 or 14 years old, which is kind of young to be watching The Walking Dead. But that show was really good, and yeah, I can't wait to see what's next out of them. So, yeah. Once again, just going back to HBO, House of the Dragon premieres on HBO TV channel on August 21st. I'm definitely going to be watching it. Can't wait for it, and can't wait to see what kind of story and what they tell to us. So, going into Sony and see what they're doing right now, and more into Marvel, actually. Morbius, the Living Vampire, released in theaters this past week, and I actually did see it. I went and saw it. Really good movie, and it was kind of short. I will say that. I'm not going to give any spoilers for anybody who haven't seen it, because, it came out this week. So, no spoilers. I'll give a spoiler review next week. But to rate it out of 10, I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. It was good, but like when you look it up, and it was short because it was only like an hour and 45 minutes long, and everything good that happened at the end. So, which is like a lot of movies. Well, like I don't remember much of the movie. I just remember the end. But it was good. I enjoyed it. Probably will definitely watch it again. And no spoilers, but you'll have to wait until the end to see how it connects to other Marvel stuff. There's a little bit of a trickle of some spoilies, some good old spoilers to you there. So, Morbius, really good. Or not really good, but it was good. And yeah, it's like a 7 out of 10 is what I'd give it. Also, Moon Knight, the first episode of the MCU Marvel series on Disney Plus, premiered this past Wednesday. And it is Moon Knight. I have watched the first episode already, and it is pretty good. I will not give any spoilers for it either, but I think Oscar Isaac has done a pretty good job of this weird type character in this show. Of course, Ethan Hawke plays the villain. I do not know the guy's name, but it's different. I like it, and it's different, but you'd have to definitely check it out for yourself. But Moon Knight is going to be a new episode every Wednesday for the next, I think 6 weeks, maybe 6 or 7. I don't know how long it's going to actually run for. But it's pretty good. I like it. Oh, excuse me. I'm yawning. But Moon Knight's pretty good. And no spoilers, of course, but you're going to have to just check it out for yourself. So it's over on Disney Plus, and of course Morbius is only in theaters right now. So there you go. So go ahead and keep the train rolling. We're gonna go ahead and get into some questions real quick here. And of course, if you ever have a question that you would like to submit to me to answer or give my opinion on something or anything like that on a future episode of the Toddcast, you can always go to my YouTube channel, which will be linked down in the description of this podcast episode. Wherever you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever, there's usually a description of what I talk about down below. And there's a link down there. You can tap on it or click on it. It will take you to my YouTube channel. You can go ahead and subscribe. And then go to one of the videos, and down in the comments section, you can type out a comment that is a question of whatever you want to ask me. It could be a would you rather question. It could be what do you think about this? What do you think about that? All that kind of stuff. You can also comment a brand of a drink or flavor of chips or anything like that you would like for me to review on a future episode. And you can do one of them. You can just leave a question. You can leave a review, something you'd like to be reviewed. Or you can leave both if you want to. You can leave whatever you want. Submit however many questions you want. just really, if you want to submit one question or 20, you can do so down in the comments below. And we got a couple questions for you right now. So thank you for submitting these questions. And here we go. First question is an interesting question. I'll go ahead and say that. It is a would you rather question. So, would you rather be gassy on a first date or your wedding night? Interesting. Honestly, in my opinion, I would say straight off the bat, wedding night. Because, and here's my reasoning. Now, I know, of course, whenever there's always the stigma, and apparently just the I guess, stereotypical at this point that you're supposed to do this, that once you get married and have your wedding night, things are supposed to get a little spicy, if you know what I'm saying, at night. Get a little steamy, some steamy action, if you will, after the wedding on that night. If I gotta, gassy, that gassy's just too weird. All right, if I gotta fart in front of my significant other, they're not my significant other on a first date. On a first date, I barely know them. Depending on how long you talk for them, depending on how you met them. If you met them, at college, at school, or through a dating app or something, you'll know the basics depending on where you met them and get their phone number, or talk to them through Snapchat or whatever. But do you rather... Are you more comfortable farting in front of somebody on your first date or on the wedding night? I would say the wedding night, because you are more comfortable with them. And that's what I'm saying, is that you just got married, so why wouldn't you be more comfortable with just letting it rip on the wedding night? Now, I know you're supposed to get some steamy action, but as long as you get all that air out, that nervous gas, if you will, as long as you get all that out before any of the action actually happens, then you'll be fine. If you let one out while it's happening, I feel like it might kill the mood, or if she's a little weird or freaky, it might enlighten the mood. You know what I'm saying? So, but in my honest opinion, letting one rip, just letting out a big old fart on the wedding night, is a lot better than on first date, because first date is first impression. First date is most likely the first time you're going to see them in person, and trying to be intimate, and you want to get to know them, and what's your favorite color, and do you have any pets? What's your mother's maiden name, and what's your social security number, and all those types of questions. You're trying to ask all these questions. But on wedding night, one, you've probably already dated them for anywhere to, I don't know how long people will date for, anywhere between 6 months to 10 years, I guess. Because I know some people will date for a couple months and then get married, and then there's some people who will date for 10, 15 years before they actually get married. So it's if you date somebody for a couple years, get married, and then at that wedding night, you feel like you gotta let some gas out, there's no shame in that, because you know them. You've known them for a couple years already, and now you're married to them, That ring on the finger is a gateway to letting it rip, okay? That is that ring on the finger is why you're comfortable with them, and you're fine with them, and you want to spend the rest of your life together, and you love that person, and they love you. So it's you should be okay with doing whatever in front of each other when it comes to gas or anything like that, okay? So that's my opinion. Some people may think it might be better to do it on the first date. I don't think anybody should pick the first date over the you shouldn't pick the first date over the wedding night. That's just self-explanatory. So yeah, I'm picking wedding night all day, every day on that one. So the next question we got is another would you rather question. Would you rather detect every lie that you hear, or always get away with every lie you tell? That's very interesting. Detect every lie or get away with every lie that I tell. it's interesting because they're both kind of like a superpower, I guess. Like, would you rather know if someone's telling you a lie, or you can always get away with a lie that you tell? I guess that just depends on, like, God, that's hard, because I feel like the ethical choice would be to be able to detect every lie that you hear. That's what most people probably would choose. But if you can get away with that means if you can get away with telling lies, no matter how hard the lie is, because you're lying, but you're getting away with it, no matter what it is. Get away with every lie you tell. So what if I buy a lottery ticket, and then I take it to the office and say I won? They don't look at it. I get away with it because it's a lie. I just won the lottery. How about that? I mean, that sounds good to me. I mean, if I just got to tell one lie to get away with it and I win like $100 million, I mean, lying's a sin, and you shouldn't do it, and it's not what you should do. But if I'm getting $100 million, that's what's your price is the question there. Detect every lie you hear. That would be good for, like, detectives or lawyers or anybody like that, or a judge or somebody, But then get away with every lie that I tell. It wouldn't be a lie then, if I'm getting away with it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm getting a lie that you get away with is just the truth that they don't know. That's what that is. So, I'm going to have to go with get away with every lie that I tell. Because, one, if you lie to someone and they know you're lying, it's just awkward and weird. But if I can lie to somebody, especially I want to tell the truth most of the time. I mean, I already do. I think I'm pretty truthful with people. But if I can tell a lie and, do with that lottery example that I said, where it's like, hey, I won the lottery, here's my ticket, and I'm lying to them, straight up lying to them, and they're like, okay, and then they give me just a briefcase full of money, that's fine with me. So, yeah, I'm going to have to go with the lie, get away with every lie that I tell, because I know that's wrong, and I shouldn't do that, but, come on, why not? Let's have some fun with it. You know what I'm saying? Let's roll with it. Let's see what happens, So, of course, that is the end of the questions. If you ever have a question that you would like to submit on a future episode, you can always go down to the link below, go to my YouTube channel, comment on one of the videos, and it will be right there for me to see. So, next up, we have some chips that I'm going to be trying. Of course, you should follow the official Toddcast Instagram page over on Instagram at @the_Toddcast_. Only on Instagram, of course. There's nowhere else that it is. It's only on Instagram. So once you follow that Instagram page, you'll probably see pictures of me and the guest, or the food that I try, or the drinks that I try. So now today, like you can in the comment section with the questions, you can also do that with drinks and different chip brands and flavors, or any candy, or really anything. Just be like, hey, try this, and I'll be like, okay, and see if I can find it or try it, So today we have 2 different flavors of Zapp's potato chips. Of course, Zapp's, I'm pretty sure, is a Louisiana brand of chips. Because of the way these are. These are apparently like kettle chips. All right, you're going to hear a lot of crunching. So, I'm sorry about that. Zapp's. Alright, so I got 2 different flavors. The first one I'm going to try is Zapp's New Orleans Kettle Style Voodoo Chips. Now, this is going to be loud. Okay. like half full. I actually used to eat Voodoo chips a lot in high school. I feel like a lot of people did in my grade and in the grades below and above me. These chips were actually quite famous in my school. We ate these a lot. And they're really good and kind of spicy, too. Have a good hint of spice to them. So, I'm going to go ahead and just try them right now. So, I haven't had them in like 5 or 6 years, I don't think. Well, it's been a long time since I've had Voodoo chips, so let's get a chip out. Oh, it's a very strong vinegary smell. Looks good. So, Voodoo Zaps chips. Let's give them a try. Oh, man. So good. I'm sorry, and I apologize if you hear me chewing, but these are really loud chips. I'm gonna give them, on the scale from 0 to 100 with no decimals, I'm gonna give them just a straight up 84. They're good. I really like Zapp's Voodoo chips. Like, of course, some of them are more spicy than others, and some more have that more vinegar kick than others. But overall, Zapp's Voodoo chips are one of the best chips out there, in my opinion. That's why I give it an 84. It's not like in the 90s or anything, because like the 90s, it's hard to get above a 90 for a chip for me, because one, the only chip that's really up there for me are nacho cheese and Cool Ranch Doritos. Those are my two favorite chips probably of all time. And like, I like Cheetos, I like these, I like other chips, but really, these are like a top tier chip. The Voodoo Zapp's chips are really good. I mean, wherever you are, go to a gas station and see if you can find these chips, because they're really good. So, I'm going to put these over here for later. So next up, we have another flavor from Zapp's. I've never heard of this. I don't know what flavor this is, but it's called Zapp's Potato Chips, of course. New Orleans Kettle Style, of course, same as that. But that's Voodoo. This is Evil Eye. That is the flavor. That's it. I don't know what... There's nothing on the back that says anything. I mean, Evil Eye has more calories, but less sodium. So I'm thinking they're gonna be spicy. Here, I'm gonna open them up. Okay. Oh, good lord. Oh yeah, I think they're gonna be hot. I wish you could see them. These chips look like they're covered in blood. Like, these are red. I got my water ready just in case. Oh my lord! God, they're red! Like, y'all know like those Snickerdoodle cookies? And imagine they have like red sugar on it. That's what these chips look like. Like, I'm not excited to eat this. All right, if you hear me spit it out, I'm sorry, but I don't know what these are going to taste like. I'm just going to have to dive in neck deep. Let's go with the Zapp's Evil Eye. Okay. Huh. Okay. I'm just very confused. Okay, they weren't as hot as I thought they were, so I don't have to spit anything out. They are hot, and it is burning. But all this red, it tastes like a ketchup chip. You know, like those ketchup Lays they had? That's what this tastes like. Imagine that ketchup chip from Lay's, but if they put like some cayenne or paprika or some type of like hot seasoning on it, or Tony's or whatever. Imagine if they put like a hot seasoning on a ketchup chip. That's what this tastes like. Or like if you have a very hot chip and dip it in ketchup, that's what this tastes like. I'm going to try another one because... I'm just so confused because it doesn't have much of a flavor. All that hype for this. Evil Eye, I mean, y'all aren't bad, but I'm going to give you a 76. Like, mainly but just because I'm kind of disappointed in it because, I mean, it's good. It's got a kick to it. My mouth is still kind of burning, but not too bad. But other than it tasting like ketchup, there's nothing much else there. The first one tasted like ketchup. The second one had the heat at the beginning and then just chip and nothing. So, yeah. So, Zapp's Voodoo ends out with an 84, and Evil Eye goes with a 76. So, if you ever have a flavor of chips you want me to try in the future, go ahead to my YouTube channel and you can submit it down in the comments. A question, flavor of chips, drink flavor, all of the above, one of them, more of them, however many you want to do. So, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thank all of y'all for listening. As always, please rate and subscribe. And if you listen on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe. And click that bell to get notified when new videos are uploaded. And make sure you follow the Toddcast only on Instagram at @the_Toddcast_ for all your updates and Toddcast needs. And make sure you tell your friends and your family to give it a listen. And thank all of you once again for listening to this episode. And if you want to know what's going to happen next week, we're just going to tune in to find out. Only on the Toddcast.